UWI is there for you and Caribbean society in both traditional and non-traditional ways. Again, as we make ourselves available for service to the region in a variety of areas. I'm looking forward to this evening as we celebrate these artists. I realize I'm getting old. I grew up on Calypso Rose, never knew much about Hazel Scott. I will always make my skills and others available to the arts, because the arts are critical for our society. If you ask somebody in Barbados, a random person who was the president of the Chamber of Commerce in 1994, I think people would draw a blank. But many people would remember that John King was the monarch in 1994. So our artists are important to us, and it's critical that we take care of them and provide them with all opportunities.
In which they're involved. And art also plays an important part in preserving history. And I think we ought to be able to share that with people, because paintings, expressions of dance, songs, these are the things that live on way beyond books. And sculpture and other types of visual art are the things that can be used to preserve history. I took a visit to Norman Center, and I was surprised, and that's a thing that I probably should be embarrassed to say, but I did not realize that there was so much going on in that space. It told me something. We believe, just as he said, that the preservation of history, the preservation of the contributions of people can be best represented by three-dimensional objects. But congratulations to you, Art, for persevering. I took note, my numbers background tells me that you really said that 3/4 of the responses you got for some particular thing were negative. And that would be daunting for a lot of people. I'm a politician, I mean, I can't afford for 75% of the comments to be negative, but otherwise I will no longer be a politician. So I am saying to you quite sincerely that to persevere, in spite of that, says something about you. And Barbados ought to applaud persons who are prepared to persevere because you believe in something. You believe in artistic expression, and in spite of what happens around you, you're prepared to continue moving forward. I wish you well, and I look forward to the unveiling. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. The Caribbean Wax Museum, founded by R. Edwards and Francis Ross, houses a collection of wax works that are a medium through which many cultural icons as well as world-renowned celebrities have been honored. The Caribbean Wax Museum, though similar to others around the world, has distinguished itself as being the only one in the Caribbean. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, really deserves a round of applause. Creating an imagery of persons we love and look up to can positively impact upon our lives and emotions. And it is through these types of institutions our stories are told. You know, we as a people can celebrate, remember the past, and also imagine our future. These three wax figures of prominent West Indians have impacted our lives in one way or another. Today, we proudly unveil these persons who are not only singers and songwriters, but who have all championed the causes of social justice, racial discrimination, and sexism through their works. These three Trinidadians, through their music, have brought awareness to social issues as well as a sense of Caribbean pride and togetherness with songs such as The Man I Love, No Mister, Haiti, or Rally Round the West Indies, just to name a few. Here's Dorothy Scott, jazz and classical pianist, singer, and actor, born in Trinidad on June 11th, 1920. And she would have suffered immensely with accusations of being, anti-American and all the other things that were happening at that particular time in the United States of America, where it seemed as if the artistic community was at loggerheads with the then government. But you know what? Despite all of that, in 2021, through the efforts of art, she gets the opportunity to be the icon that she should be in our eyes. And for me, it is important that we continue, and I really want to take time to applaud Art and Francis for doing this, because if we do not tell the stories of ourselves as Caribbean people, who else do we expect to tell those stories for us? And I heard Colin and I heard Lynette talk about, and even Adrian in his piece, about the way how we've been taught to view art, the way we've been taught to view artists, and the way how for some unknown reason, we continue, even in 2021, to have a certain amount of, and I guess the only word I can use right now is ambivalence to things that we create ourselves. And so for me, it's unfortunate. This makes it even more special that they would have taken the opportunity. Like for David Rudder would have been one of my idols from early. Calypso Rose, the same thing. And I've had the privilege to share the stage with both of them at some point in time in my own career. And so it really is, for me, important that efforts like this are not only celebrated in words, but as Art was saying, maybe this is the time when we can call upon the general public and ourselves to ensure that institutions like the Wax Museum are supported in a completely different way. And again, on behalf of the Division of Culture in the Prime Minister's office, I want to congratulate Francis and Art on these wax figurines. I want to also congratulate the family of Hazel, who should be here, and to David and to Calypso Rose. I say, in the words of my friend at the back, well done. Thank you.
Anytime Art calls me, I will come. Because any of you who have heard Art go off know that Art is a spoken word artist in his own right. I got real respect for Art as a mind, as a thinker, as an artist, and as a person. Art is a hard worker. Because he's a Caribbean artist, he got to be. Tangled in knots, what can stop you if your intentions are righteous and true, and you are willing to work hard and think hard and do what you got to do? Who is giving up? Certainly not you. Use a rock too.
These 6 people, 3 couples, decided to get on a plane, took 2 planes to get to Barbados, paid the taxes at the airport and whatever. One couple spent 5 days, I know of, he spent 5 days in Barbados. They only got on that plane to come to see what this museum was about, believe it or not. We attracted 3 couples from around the world. It's not a number. The problem with that is They got to come here. We don't even advertise in Argentina or Chile. We don't advertise in Ajabe. We don't advertise, but they found out and they came to Barbados to see what we had. They must have spent upwards of $25,000 Barbados while they're here. All that we got was $120 at the door. But even the taxis made more money than us. They had restaurants that make more money than us. All we get was $120, $20 a head times 6. But you know something? It said to me and Francis that what we have is not a personal business. It's a national business. It is something that is supposed to be attractive enough to make money beyond our doors. But that is not an idea you can take to Enterprise Growth Fund. Because they may want to see that, they want to see a business that appeals to Barbadians. First, you got to be a bakery. Maybe you can sell some chicken on the side. But you got to be able to appeal to Bajans. Then, of course, you can talk to us. And we can have a medium and long-term plan. We appeal to the rest of the world, and that's good. And we could do even better. But we fully appreciate the fact that we are just 2 cogs in a gear, 2 spokes in a wheel. Because an attraction is more than just a couple of artists putting something on the stage. It is an ambiance. It's an experience. It requires something that appeals to people to make them want to pay by a door and come through. And 2 artists can't do it on their own. There's no way it's going to happen. Picture on the wall, even the picture does not say much once that person, or book on the shelf, unless you're involved in research, you're not going to go and seek that book out to find out what it is that these people have done. We are offering something that keeps these people before the public forever. And when Sparrow was unveiled last year, and Gabby was proud of the fact that his good friend Sparrow was treated in a manner to what he had experienced, that made me feel good. I mean, we take lashes for that. And again, tomorrow, we can take lashes for these here too. Because that's the Caribbean. But if you can't take lashes, don't do this. I've seen artists come up with all kinds of fancy stuff and nobody criticizes them because, you know, you can do your stuff. Or you come with this, man, the dress look bad, the eyelash don't look right. They're going to find everything wrong. We had over about 20,000 comments last year. 15,529 of them were bad. I count them all. They were all negative, and it was based on a picture that was not properly taken.